Hi guys, Martin here with another roundup of all the latest racing game news straight from the Team VVV website. We start this week once again with Gran Turismo 6, albeit on a much less positive note. The initial UK sale figures were announced, and it's fair to say that they were rather disappointing for a multi-million selling series. Turns out GT6 sold just 55,000 copies in its first week here in the UK. That's only a fifth of GT5's launch sales, despite it being the PS3's last major title. No doubt the hype of the PS4's launch is a factor here, as is the fact that, to me, GT6 really feels like the game GT5 should have been, rather than a true sequel, so it's not really moving the series on. I honestly think it would have done far better if it was released a year earlier to avoid the buzz of the PS4 and clashing with Forza 5. You all no doubt have your own opinion on the subject though, so do have your say by letting us know in the comments below. The future doesn't look completely bleak for GT6 though. You may remember before that Polyphony made the surprise announcement that content relating to the late Ayrton Senna is in the pipeline for GT6. An interview with Kaz on GT Planet hinted that we could see the content appear around May next year, which would coincide with the 20th anniversary of Senna's death. It just goes to show that Polyphony plan on supporting GT6 for quite some time yet. It's a great insightful interview actually that goes into some detail about a range of other GT related topics too, such as what influenced GT6's newfound fascination with astrology, so do check that out in the link below. Meanwhile, BMW announced their new M4 Coupe, due for release next year, but you can test drive it right now in GT6. Unsurprisingly, it costs a pretty penny, but you can always rent it in a special seasonal event hosted at the Nürburgring. This marks its game debut and a rare moment for a new car to be featured in Gran Turismo 6 before Forza, so this is hopefully the start of many car debuts to come as Polyphony acquire more partnerships. It's just a shame really there's no fully modelled interior for the M4 yet, but it drives like a dream. You can see it in action in a trailer we've got playing on the site. This wasn't the only new car to make its game debut however. Need for Speed Rivals also introduced us to the new 2015 Ford Mustang, seen here in a variety of different liveries voted by the community. It's probably not the best game for Ford to use as a promotional tool though, unless they want to send out the message that the new Mustang will be the perfect getaway car for outrunning the cops. Back to GT6 briefly though, and Alan took a trip back to the moon, but was surprised to find none other than Bernie Ecclestone, bizarrely. You can find out what happened in this otherworldly encounter in the link below. On to Forza 5 now, and Alan just can't leave his precious Formula 1 car alone. Here we see him tearing up the Top Gear test track in a recent replay video we have playing on the site. Turns out it's not the best track to tame a Formula 1 car on though, as he has an accident, the cost for which I wouldn't like to predict if it was real life, as metal meets metal between an F1 and Le Mans car. There's also more news on the ongoing microtransaction issues in Forza 5. Well, not really actually. Turn 10 has confirmed an update patch is imminent, which will add cheaper cars, but didn't specify any new price examples. What they did reveal, however, is that the update will reprise the fan-favourite drag racing and tag multiplayer modes from Forza 4. Yay for more recycled content! Though at least they're not charging us for the privilege this time, though it's another indication that really Forza 5 was rushed for release in time for the Xbox One launch. Now, the Mount Panorama circuit in Bathurst has debuted in a number of high-profile racing games this year, but none are quite as accurate as iRacing's recreation. A new behind-the-scenes video looks at the building of Bathurst as the developer reveals the full extent of the painstaking development process and the challenges it presented. As you'll see in the video, the level of detail really is quite remarkable, to the point that even the individual distinctive mailboxes outside every house is accurate. You can watch it in full at the link below. Assetto Corsa is also gearing up for another content update soon, and a recent screenshot hinted that one of the next cars on the list could well be the Ferrari F40. Honestly, driving one of the most famous Ferraris in one of the PC's most realistic racing simulations sounds like a match made in heaven, frankly. Milestone are continuing to tantalise us with another batch of MXGP screenshots now, this time showcasing an exotic Brazilian track I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce. Again, graphically it's looking very nice indeed. You can see some good environmental effects on display here, like the mud splatters on the rider and bike. If it plays as well as it looks, then this will only cement Milestone's reputation in the bike racing genre when it rolls out early next year. Elsewhere on the site, I put WRC4 through its paces in an in-depth review. Find out how it stacks up in the link below. That's it for now, but I'll be back next time for another roundup. In the meantime, visit teamvvv.com for all the latest racing game news, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.